Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya De Satarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Can everyone switch on their videos? And we don't remember what we will just do a little bit of revision. Can anyone help us to revise what we had discussed? Yeah. It's way back. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. So we were discussing Sattva-gun, Rajagun, Tamagun, and we were discussing how everyone is a transmitter and also a receiver. Yeah. Anyone else?
We were discussing about modes.
Okay, Santi. Yeah, please tell.
Yeah, three modes, three gunas, three modes, how they play the role in our day-to-day life.
So we were discussing about the three modes, how they play a nice role in our life, how the Sattva-gun, Rajagun, Tamagun, we discussed elaborately. Correct.
We also discussed about the desire of soul.
So we discuss about these things. Yeah, can you show the? So we discussed about how we are bound by the three modes. Then we are discussing about why we are bound, the Jiva, and how to become free. Correct? This is what we were discussing. So if you remember, this is what we discussed about how there are objects and living beings, and three modes are affecting, but the soul is actually completely pure. The soul is pure. The soul is not affected by the three modes. Can anyone say what is affected by the three modes? If the soul is pure, the soul is not affected, then what is affected by the three modes? Mind, intelligence. Very good. Very good. Then what is binding? Muted. What is bind? Bind, you know, what is being bound?
The SRT.
Okay, who is getting bound then? The soul is getting bound, soul is pure.
No, subtle body.
Okay.
Body is getting bound.
Subtle body is getting bound. Okay. Anyone else? What is getting bound?
Mind is getting bound.
Okay, mind is getting bound with whom?
With this.
Okay.
The thought process.
The
desire and the thought process are getting bound.
The desire and the thought process are getting bound. Okay. We will.
Jivatma is getting bound.
How the Jivatma is getting bound? So let's say it's Atma. Okay. So it's Atma. So we need to understand Atma is always pure. Right? But the Atma has a desire. Okay? So if you remember, in previous classes we discussed how previously the Jivas and the God, they were living in the spiritual world, which is home, which is called Vaikuntha. But There is some sound that is coming. Either you put it in your ear or put it in your ear. If you put it in your ear, Hare Krishna. Yeah. So, if you remember, we discussed about two Prakriti. You remember this? We discussed about two Prakriti. There are two types of Prakriti. One is the material Prakriti, and another is also Prakriti, which is the spiritual Prakriti or the Jiva or the sentient Prakriti. So, Jiva Prakriti is also part of God. Prakriti means part. So, now there are two types of creation. One is called the material creation and another is the spiritual creation. I will write it again because I don't think you would have remembered this. We'll just do a little bit of revision. So one is called the material creation and another is called the spiritual creation. So material creation, the jivas, they want to control something, they want to create something. So when the jiva wants to control, wants to create, now can Atma control God? What all of you say?
No, we are inferior.
We are inferior. We cannot. So now, but the Jivatma wants to, मेरे को कुछ बनाना है, कुछ कर दिखाना है. Just like, imagine who is there? Subhayan. Yes, Subhayan, you are there. Imagine you have a daughter and your daughter wants to create something, control something, or go to kitchen and do something. So what your wife will do? Yes, Subhayan? You are there?
Yes, true. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So if imagine your daughter wants to cook something in the kitchen. So what your wife will do? What you will do?
We'll give some kid utensils.
How many of you know this? That whenever the child wants to do some cooking, something, they give some toy utensils. Exactly the same thing God does to us. The Jivatmas want to control, want to create, they want to control something, they want to create something. Now Atma is here, intermediate. This is Jiva. This is God. And this is material Prakriti. Now Jiva cannot control God because God is superior. So the Jiva wants to control the material nature. It's a toy. So the material nature is like a toy given by God to the Jivas who want to control. Khilona. But since it is little complicated, but because why it becomes complicated? If imagine Jiva number 1 only comes to material world to control, there is no complication. Now imagine Subhayan has 2 daughters and 1 khilona. And दोनों वो खिलौना को कंट्रोल करना चाहते हैं. So what Subhayan you are going to do? Tell me.
So then those either समझाना पड़ेगा कि you share with the younger one and somehow manage. Yeah. That's the practical aspect so that they don't fight.
Now imagine you have 3 daughters. What will happen? Will it become more complicated?
Yeah, it will become more complicated, yes.
And imagine you have 4 daughters now. Will it become more complicated?
Bro, the number of daughters are increasing exponentially.
So this is how, though it looks very simple. Oh, Jiva wants to control and Krishna has given a toy. But if it is only one Jiva who wants to control and create, then it is easier. Then there are unlimited Jivas, unlimited of us, who all of us have come to material world to control and create. There is a famous story of, you can close this. So there is a famous story of Srila Prabhupada going to Srila Prabhupada used to visit a lot of companies during that time in 1970s because his books were getting published. So there is a company called Dai Nippon of the Japan company, of the printing company. So there was, because it was a big purchase order, Srila Prabhupada himself was involved and a lot of other devotees had also gone to the meeting, and the board of directors were also in the meeting, attending the company meeting. So when the meeting got over, all of them exchanged their visiting card, business card. You know, the people have their business cards, so they started exchanging. Srila Prabhupada got all of them, kept it, then they went. Then the peon came to clear off all the things. You know the peon, sab saaf karne ke liye aa gaya. So Srila Prabhupada thought that at least I have come, at least someone I have to tell about Bhagavad Gita. So the Srila Prabhupada asked this peon, because for the board of director it was more of a commercial discussion, correct? You know, ye mera book kitna mein chhapenge aap, you know, which how much will be the price and all those things. So they all went, and then the peon came, and then Srila Prabhupada said, what is the goal of your life? What is goal of your life? So this peon did a very interesting thing. He took all those visiting cards jo tha, he kept all the visiting card in one stack. Can you show? Give me a book, 3 books. So these are 3 books. So he kept all the visiting card like this, and he kept his visiting card in down, his peon, na? And then he removed the visiting card and he kept it up. This is the goal of my life. So now there are not just 3-4 people to control who have come. This boy also has come to control. This one also has to come to control. This one also has come to control. And this peon also has come to control. But the peon wants to control these 3 people along with what he can control the world. That is the problem. Samajh mein aa raha hai? That's how the world has become so complicated. Now it is very easy to say, oh, Bhagwan ne humko ek khilona diya hai, ye bhautik jagat, this material world is like a toy that Krishna has given. But problem is there are so many unlimited living entities who have come here and thinking that I want to control. Even that is also possible, that Krishna can create one universe for every jiva. That's the power of Krishna. But the living entities want to control each other. Because how many of you believe that there is one type of fun in controlling objects, but there is another type of fun in controlling human beings? There is one type of fun in controlling your smartphone, but there is another type of fun in controlling your wife. How many of you agree with this? Huh? There is one type of fun in controlling your smartphone or pressure cooker or washing machine, or like I remembered, I went to one home, so there is nowadays chimney. So if you just do like this, the chimney will start. And if you do like this, the chimney, I said, wow, amazing, kya control hai. And the lady used to do like this, the chimney will start, and lady will do like this, the chimney will end. Wow. So now there is a fun in controlling the objects, like this. But somehow or other, the lady, if that lady thinks, if I do like this, my husband will tell yes. And if I do like this, the husband will tell no. Such a amazing, na? All of you ladies, how many of you think that is such a nice thing? You know, kya Prabhuji, ho jayega, kitna acha hoga. If I tell like this, my husband will say, Hukum mere aaka. If I tell like this, the husband will say, हुकुम मेरे आका, क्या गजब है. And then if I do like this, the husband will say, और क्या हुकुम, हुकुम मेरे आका, 2 बार बोलेगा, जैसे चिमनी बोलता है. So definitely there is some fun in controlling objects, but more is when we control some human beings, some sentient beings, जिसको मजा आएगा, उसको दिखा दूंगा मैं भी कौन सा व्यक्ति हूं. So the problem is this. So if the jivas only want to control material prakriti, if the jivas only want to control material prakriti, still the problem is complicated because there are so many jivas who want to come and control material prakriti. But Krishna is unlimited. And since Krishna is unlimited, so Krishna can create unlimited material toys for unlimited jiva. वो तो कर ही सकता है. Just like Subhayan is limited. 1 बेटी है तो एक ही टॉय दे देगी. 2 बेटी हो गया तो दूसरा टॉय लेके आने के लिए फिर पैसा निकालना पड़ेगा. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna can give one toy to everyone. Like for example, when this is a very nice story that when Bibhishan came and surrendered to, when I am speaking, you close this. When Bibhishan came and surrendered, so immediately Lord Ramachandra put water on his hand and said, Bibhishan, you are Lankesh, you are Lanka Naresh. Immediately made him king. And all people were shouting, Lord Ram, Ravan is not dead and gone, and you have already made him king of Lanka. What if Ravan also comes and surrenders? क्या करेंगे आप? If Ravan comes, विभीषण को तो लंका दे दिया और आप तो वचन रखेंगे, रघुकुल रीत सदा चली आए. So what you will give to Ravan if he comes and surrenders? Then Lord Ram said, I'll give him Ayodhya. Now what you will give Bharat? I will give him Vaikuntha. What he will do? I'll become servant. So don't think that Krishna or Lord Ram has limited toys. Krishna can create unlimited toys. There is another story that comes in Bhagavatam. We are going to Haridwar and Rishikesh. This time in Yatra we will discuss this story, but I will tell you. So one time Lord Krishna, Vishnu, he came as a sannyasi. It's called Nara Narayan Rishi. If you go to Badrika Ashram, there is Badri Narayan. You know why it is Badri Narayan? So I'll tell you the story. Very interesting story. So every time Narad Muni used to go to Krishna, and Narad Muni will find Krishna enjoying his Grihastha ashram. His wife and Lakshmi ji is massaging the feet of Narayan, and lot of people, and Lord Narayan is enjoying. So Narad Muni used to feel little sometimes bad. So one time Narayan asked, took him to a private place, and Narayan asked Narad Muni, every time you come to Vaikuntha, I am seeing that you are happy, but I am feeling that you are having little bit of some doubt in your heart. So then Narad Muni said, oh Lord, you have incarnated to set the right example. But you have set the right example of how to be a Grihastha, but you have never set the right example of how to be a sannyasi. Then how all of us as sannyasi would take inspiration? I have no wife. I also want to take inspiration from you. If you have one avatar for the sannyasi, will be so happy. Then Lord decided, yes, then I'll come as avatar and become sannyasi, but this Lakshmi never leaves me. How will I become a sannyasi with a wife? Lakshmi has to leave. And Narad Muni said, you decide, my Lord, but you have to have one avatar where you are a sannyasi. Then Lord Narayan, when Narad Muni left, Lord Narayan called Lakshmi and said, I have got an invitation from Nagaloka. And Nagaloka people are calling me to have some celebration. Can you go on my behalf? Lakshmi said, okay, I will go to Nagaloka. And then Lakshmi went. And as soon as Lakshmi went to Nagaloka, immediately Narayan changed to ascetic form. And because if he is a sannyasi, he has to have a disciple. So he called Arjun, said, Arey, main sannyas liya hu, tum bhi sannyas leke aa jao. So that's how it became Nara Narayan Rishi. Nara is Arjun, Narayan is Narayan. So both of them, Guru and Chela, they came. And where they have to stay now? Because every Rishi, they go to Himalaya. So then Lord Shiva used to stay in Kedarnath. You know Kedarnath, that's a very nice place. So Lord Shiva and Parvati, they used to stay there. They used to sometimes come from Kailas and stay in Kedarnath because Kedarnath was more beautiful. So now Narayan came, and Narayan liked Kedarnath very much. But he saw that Lord Shiva is already residing here. So I need to do something. अदरवाइज इनको तो निकालना पड़ेगा, हम दोनों नहीं रहेंगे एक साथ. वो अपना गृहस्थ आश्रम है, हम तो सन्यासी हैं, वी आर सन्यास, वी शुड हैव सम प्राइवेसी, लेडीज शुड नॉट बी देयर. सो देन नारायण becomes a small child and starts crying on the bank of Ganga near the mountain. And Lord Shiva and Parvati, they are going to take bath in the morning, and Parvati Devi finds the small child crying, shouting, crying, you know. And then Parvati Devi says, Nath, who is this small child? I think parents have left him or what? Lord Shiva says, don't look at him. Don't look at him. Don't look at him. Just do your duties. And wow, you are not a, Parvati Devi said to Lord Shiva, you have such kathor hriday. You do not know the heart of a lady. How can, as a lady, I can leave this child who is crying so badly? Lord Shiva says, he is not a child. Don't look at him. You do your duties. Parvati says, you will never understand the heart of a mother. And then Lord Shiva went ahead, said, do whatever. You know, we all know husbands, wives don't follow so much their husbands. So this is coming down from Lord Shiva's time. So Lord Shiva went, and Parvati Devi went and got the child and made the child little bit peace pacified, took the child to her kutir and then went. And when both of them came back, then the child is sleeping on the kutir with four-handed form of Narayan. And Narayan said to Lord Shiva and Parvati, I am liking this place. You can find out some other place. So then Lord Shiva and Parvati had to leave that place and go to another place. That became the current Kedarnath. And the previous Kedarnath was actually Badrinath. So the previous, whatever you are seeing now, Badrinath, it was actually Kedarnath. Lord Shiva actually went there, but that place Lord liked so much, so he said, "Aap naya jagah dhoond lo." And then Lord Shiva and Parvati found out another place that became Kedarnath. So then Nara Narayan Rishi were doing tapasya and everything. And then Lakshmi ji came back from Nagaloka. When Lakshmi ji came back from Nagaloka, he said, Lord is not there. She started searching. And then Lakshmi ji also went to Badrinath. So then, and saw Nara Narayan Rishi, and Lakshmi's Lord said, Ki now to I am a sannyasi now, what to do? And then Mother Lakshmi becomes the Badri tree to give chaya to Narayan, who has become a sannyasi. And that's how from Lakshmi Narayan, it became Badri Narayan. So then, why I was telling you this story, entire story, then Nara Narayan Rishi were doing tapasya. And then who became envious? Indra became envious. Ki arey, ye sannyasi tapasya kar raha hai. I think he is doing tapasya to get my post. So then Indra sent Kamadev and lot of beautiful apsaras to attract Nara Narayan Rishi. And when a lot of apsaras started coming, and immediately that entire Badrinath place became like spring. Lot of flowers, romantic scenes were coming, and all these apsaras were dancing. And then Narayanji opened his eyes, and when Narayanji opened his eyes, he created more apsaras, more beautiful apsaras than the apsaras Indra had sent. And they started dancing. So when they started dancing, all these apsaras, heavenly damsels, they sat down saying, my goodness, we are not as beautiful as these girls who have come just from the body of Narayan. And then Narayan called Kamdev and said, इसमें से एक चुन लो, एक लेके इंद्र को गिफ्ट दे देना. And from there came Urvasi, one of the apsara. Uru means lap, jang, thigh. So that lady who came out from the thigh of Narayan came Urvasi. So, and that's how Indra got Urvasi. But what I am telling is that is the power of Lord. Indra wanted send some ladies, and Narayan created much beautiful ladies. One universe Narayan can create for all of us. If Bikram Prabhu wants one universe, Narayan will give, okay, take a one universe. Sam Narayan, one universe. Anu Silka, one universe. Subhayan, one universe. Arvind Pandey, one universe. But problem is, we will not be satisfied with universe. Why? Because we don't want to control universe. We want to control the living entities in the universe. That is the problem. जैसे आपने देखा होगा, बच्चों को अगर आप 2 टॉय खरीद के दे देंगे तो अभी भी झगड़ा बंद नहीं होगा. How many of you have seen? झगड़ा बंद नहीं होगा. तो उसको वो टॉय चाहिए जो वो खेल रहा है, और इसको ये टॉय चाहिए जो वो खेल रहा है, एंड देन फिर झगड़ा चालू. This is the problem of Krishna. The problem of Krishna is not resources. Krishna can create unlimited resources for us, but because we have this tendency to quarrel, we are just like children of Krishna. Just like as you are experiencing how the children fight, there is enough for them, but still they will fight. This is how we are all fighting among each other in this material world, and creating disturbance for ourselves and creating disturbance for others. Now, Krishna decides that if such a quarrel is going to happen, everyone is trying to control each other, then it becomes very difficult to correct. So then Krishna creates something called, can anyone say Krishna creates what? Can someone say what Krishna creates? Okay, it's not that living entities want to control just the material world. Living entity wants to control their husband, wife, children, boss, employee. So what Krishna will do now? Oh, so family is created for controlling? Then you will be the most frustrated husband. What Krishna will create? And Krishna doesn't want to get involved also. Baap re, itna jhagda karte hain. Krishna doesn't want to get involved also. So what he will create? What he will do?
Karma system.
Karma system. One Hari Bol for Mataji. Mataji is from Bhagavatam class. How she has come? That's why she is answered. So Krishna creates karma. So karma is basically to resolve the conflicts. So all of us are trying to create conflict and quarrels with isko le lena hai, usko le lena hai, ye le lena hai, wo kar lena hai. And then Krishna thinks, oh, if I start resolving, then my life what will happen to me? So then Krishna creates this karma system. Okay, you want to control Bikram? I'll give you opportunity to control Bikram. But next life, Bikram will control you. You want to trouble that living entity, control him? Okay, experience. So control. But that living entity will control you also. Remember that. And that's how karma system has been created by Krishna, so that there is justice. Otherwise, what will happen? One living entity will keep on controlling. Sri Nitai Das will keep on controlling Vikram, and Vikram will think, I'm feeling exploited, man. This man is just controlling me. And that's how the karma system has been created, so that there is justice. So this karma is only there in the material world, because only in material world the living entities, the jivas, want to control. So this karma principle is there in the material world. Now, all of you have a choice. What is the choice? If you transform every living entity in this material world, सबको बदल देंगे, सबका हृदय बदल देंगे. So, if we transform everyone in this material world, then this material world will become so nice. अगर सबका हृदय इधर बदल गया, तो कितना अच्छा होगा. This is one way. Another way is give up this material world, go to Vaikuntha. That is also, which is easier? Which is easier? All of you are intelligent. Huh?
Give up this world and go to.
Give up this world and go to Bhagwan ke dham mein. So this is how the karma and material world is created. Now, for people to interact with the toy, now the jiva is spiritual. Now, material world is material. With 3 modes. Okay. So now jiva is spiritual and he wants to interact with the material world. So a interface has to be created. Like for example, I'll give that. So this is an interface. It helps the pen drive to get connected with the computer. It's a pen drive, right? It's an interface. So pen drive and computer, they are two things. But if you want to connect, you require an interface, correct? So exactly in the same way, the jiva who is spiritual interacts with the material world, which is material, which is consisting of the 3 modes, through the interface of the body. Okay. Now in body, which is also made of 3 modes, they can easily interact. This is not compatibility. You know compatibility? How many of you have seen Apple charger different than any Android charger? Correct? You cannot take an Apple charger, that lightning conductor charger port, and put it in type C. वो कर पाएंगे? नहीं होगा. Correct? So compatibility. So now the jiva wants to interact with a particular SRT, sattva, raja and tama of the material world, material object. Then he gets an interface with the same SRT compatibility, and then interaction can happen. समझ में आ रहा है? मान लीजिए Sri Nitai Das wants to interact with a material object which is having 20% sattva, 60% raja and 20% tama. Then I have to get a body which is having that SRT, correct? Then only I can interact. So that compatibility, you are able to understand? I'll just write this example. Sri Nitai Das. So what? He has a desire. Now what is the desire? He wants to interact with an object or control an object which has S, R and T, 20, 60 and 20. So now if he has this desire, he will also have to have an interface. and he gets a body, and the body will also have the same SRT. ये जो SRT है, the body will also have the same SRT, and then he can interact. And that's how the whole world is going on along with the karma system. Okay, practically we are sometimes getting karma bodies to trouble others. Like you have seen sometimes some child is born in a family, and I remember one person, one boy was to serve in our Albert Road tour or some department. Then his sister was married, and then after marriage they were not having children for his sister and brother-in-law. They were not having children for 2-3 years. After that they got a daughter, and the daughter had a hole in the heart from childhood. And practically whatever savings they had, sister had, everything got sold off to take care of the that little girl, and still the girl died, leaving the parents with no wealth at all, and practically they became bankrupt. Can you imagine? So the everything in this world that is created, like this girl had some debt, some loan from previous life, and she just came to clear off the loan and went away to give the pain. So in this way we need to understand that this material world, that is how it is a very dangerous, complicated place. And why it is complicated? Not Krishna has made it complicated. जब भी हमारे जीवन में दुख आता है, what we tell? भगवान ने मेरे को इतना क्यों दुख दिया? Yes, correct? Everyone says what? भगवान ने मेरे को इतना क्यों दुख दिया? अरे भगवान का कुछ काम धंधा नहीं है. हाँ, तुम इतना बड़ा हो गया कि भगवान तुमको आके डायरेक्टली दुख देगा. हाँ, तो भगवान किसी को नहीं दुख देते हैं, हम अपने आप को दुखमय परिस्थिति में डाल रहे हैं. So we are actually creating ourselves and putting ourselves in a situation like this. So then what is the goal of life? So the goal of life is going from material world to our home, that is spiritual world. That is the goal of life. So we will recite one verse. Just wait 1 minute. Close it. I'll just open the verse. So we will recite 2 verses today. So this is 8th chapter. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are taking a verse from the 8th chapter. So one person can recite. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam.
Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam.
Tyajati ante kalevaram.
Tyajati ante kalevaram.
Tam tam eva iti kaunteya.
Tam tam eva iti kaunteya.
Sada tad bhava bhavitaha.
Sada tad bhava bhavitaha.
Perfect. Amazing. Nice. All of you are learning Sanskrit. Good. Yes, someone else was reciting. I think Nitin Prabhu was also wanting to recite. So please.
Yes, yes.
Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam.
Yam yam vapi samaran bhavam.
Tyajati ante kalevaram.
Tayajati ante kalevaram.
Tam tam eva iti kaunteya.
Tam tam evati kaunteya.
Sada tad bhava bhavitaha.
Sada tad bhava bhavita.
Very simple verse. You see what Krishna is telling. Yam yam, जैसे जैसे, whatever whatever, वापी वापू, और जिस अवस्था में स्मरण भावम, जिस भाव का स्मरण करते हुए, या फिर whatever at the time of death one has stored in one's, just 1 minute, let me open the, whatever one has stored in one's subtle body. Bhava basically is subtle body, whatever one has stored in it. Based on what is stored in the subtle body, one will get another body, that is the gross body, in the next life. Okay, so that is being mentioned. Yam yam vapi स्मरण भावम त्यजति अंते, अंते मतलब मृत्यु के समय, कलेवरम मतलब ये शरीर, तम तम वैसे ही, एव इति कौन्तेय सदा तद भाव भाविता. We'll read the translation. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. If one is thinking about a dog, then he will get a dog body. Or if one's attitude has become like a dog in this life, then he will get a dog body. One's attitude has become like a snake, he will get a snake body. One attitude has become like a human being or a devata, very saintly, then he will get a better body. So like that, different things, how we have stored in our subtle body, we will get a gross body. Now then Krishna says in the previous verse, then how we can get rid of the bodies, right? Antakale cha mameva,
Antakale cha mameva,
smaran muktva kalevaram,
Smaran mukta kalevaram,
ya prayati samadbhavam,
Ya prayati samadbhavam,
yati nasti atra samsayah.
Yati nasti atra samsayah.
देखिए क्या लिखा हुआ है. This is 8.5. अंत मतलब at the time of death, काले मतलब at the time of death, काले मतलब time, अंत काले मतलब time of death, च माम एव मेरा जो स्मरण करता है, स्मरण मतलब जो स्मरण करता है, रिमेंबर्स, मुक्त्वा कलेवरम उसको मुक्ति मिल जाता है. किससे? इस भौतिक जगत से, इस मटेरियल वर्ल्ड से, इस मटेरियल बॉडी से. यह प्रायति एंड वो व्यक्ति, प्रायति मतलब उसको मिलेगा, मद भावम मेरा जैसा शरीर मिलेगा, आध्यात्मिक शरीर मिलेगा. फिर से वापस, याति नास्ति अत्र संशयः, इसमें कोई भी संशय, इसमें कोई भी डाउट नहीं है. एंड हुएवर एट द एंड ऑफ हिज लाइफ quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature of there is no doubt. So if you remember anything at the time of death, then you attain that type of body. And if we remember Krishna at the time of death, then we go to spiritual world, Krishna's abode. We get a body like a spiritual body. And we get rid of this material body which is given to us to create, to control this world, which is made with 3 modes and gives so much of pain. This, you see what is the pain in this world? What is the pain of this world? Can anyone define pain or misery? Like Krishna will say, now कोई बोलेगा क्यों छोड़ के जाना है प्रभु जी, बहुत ही अच्छा जगह है ये, कोई बोलेगा. So Krishna himself is telling in this chapter number 8 कि क्यों छोड़ के जाना चाहिए. If you go ahead, Yeah. Oh, sorry. Where is the verse? Yeah. Text 15. Mamupetya punarjanma
Mamupetya punarjanma
dukkhalayam asaswatam
dukhalayam shashvatam
napnuvanti mahatmanaha
napnuvanti mahatmanaha
samsiddhi paramam gata.
samsiddhi paramam gataha.
तो मेरे को जब ऐसे इधर पता है ना, बताया क्या बताया, अगर हम इस भौतिक जगत पे कुछ भी चीजें याद करके इफ वी लीव देन विल गेट ए बॉडी इन दिस वर्ल्ड ओनली, बट इफ यू थिंक अबाउट कृष्णा एंड देन विल गो टू स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड, देन व्हाई वी वांट टू गो टू स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड? कोई अगर पूछेगा, कृष्णा इज टेलिंग आंसर हियर, माम उपेत्य, मेरे को अगर प्राप्त कर लेगा या मेरे जगत में आ जाएगा, दुखालयम अशाश्वतम से उसको मुक्त मिल जाएगा, पुनर्जन्म और नहीं मिलेगा उसको। नाप्नुवन्ति महात्माना समसिद्धिम परमाम गता, he will get the highest destination, that is going to my abode. And what is my abode? You will not get misery. Now what is the misery in this world? What is so miserable of this world? Huh?
वही जन्म मृत्यु।
ओके, जन्म मृत्यु, जन्म ठीक है, ओके जन्म मृत्यु ठीक है, वो तो है ही, बट व्हाट इज सो मिजरेबल?
ओल्ड एज,
ओके ओके,
competition.
competition,
And,
okay okay. What is misery? The definition of misery is to get what you don't want and next is to not get what you want. Yes, if everyone clear with this definition, this is what misery, right? किसी को भी पूछेंगे दुख क्या है, मेरे को जो चाहिए मिला नहीं, मेरे को जो चाहिए नहीं चाहिए वो मिल गया, बस यही दुख है, सिंपल ना? How many of you feel that this is the best definition of misery? वो बर्थ ओल्ड एज भूल जाओ, वो बर्थ ओल्ड एज वो सब, दिस इज शास्त्रिक डेफिनेशन ऑफ मिजरी. शास्त्र नेवर स्पीक्स अबाउट सिचुएशंस, स्क्रिप्चर स्पीक अबाउट प्रिंसिपल. What is principle behind misery? It's not a situation called death. Arey, death can be also happy. Those who are suffering, I have met people who have prayed to me कि स्वामी जी प्रार्थना कीजिए मैं उठ जाऊं, और नहीं हो रहा है मेरे से, झेल नहीं पा रहा हूं. करेक्ट है? स्वामी जी कब मुक्ति मिलेगा? I have met people those who have asked me to do kirtans so that वो गुजरे, एंड फिर मैंने कीर्तन किया है एंड वो गुजरा, तो मेरे को फिर स्वामी जी आप ही के वजह से उनको मुक्ति मिल गया. So now is death miserable? No, death is coming as not a misery, death is coming as a happy situation. And everyone, the children, their wife, everyone said, स्वामी जी आप ही के वजह से हो गया, इतना कष्ट पाता था, इतना कष्ट पा रहा था, 10 साल हो गया था, गुजर नहीं रहा था, आप ही कीर्तन किए तो गुजरा. So death is not misery, birth is not misery. Misery is this. The principle behind misery is to get what you don't want, what you want, to not get what you want, and to get what you don't want. This is the definition of misery. And this is what happens in this world. The Jivatma is eternal, right? So the Jivatma is eternal. Now, being eternal, okay. Being eternal, the Jivatma doesn't want to die. None of us want to die. because we are souls. We don't want to die. But death is imposed upon us. We don't want to die, but we die. So that's the misery. We don't want disease, we get disease. That's the misery. And we want to get lot of fame, lot of name. Everyone keeps on worshipping us. Huh? Yes? And then we don't get sometimes. So that's how the world is designed, and the misery is designed in this world. And this misery is not created by God. This misery is created by us. Now for next 2 minutes, we'll discuss how this misery is created by us, not by God. Can anyone say, भगवान कैसे बनाया? नहीं, भगवान ने तो दुनिया बनाया, तो दुख भी तो भगवान ने बनाया. दुख कैसे भगवान ने नहीं बनाया? तो दुख कौन बनाया? ओके,
वो सोचने की शक्ति तो हमारी खुद की है.
ओके, सोचने की शक्ति
भगवान का नियंत्रण है.
सोचने की शक्ति हमके खुद ही है. भगवान ने तो दुख कैसे नहीं बनाया? हम कैसे दुख अपना बनाए? How we are creating happiness situation for us? Yes, anyone else?
Because we are exploiting others, no? That's why I think things are coming to us.
Yeah, even in this
because
world.
Of the nature of controlling, that's something I think which is connected to this.
Yeah. So like sometimes people say that married life is very miserable, Prabhuji. आप बहुत अच्छा हो गए, सन्यासी बन गए. Married life is very miserable. Is married life miserable? Pandavas were married. What is miserable in the married life? If you don't know how to live in a married life, then it is miserable. I have seen sannyasis having such a miserable time. And then they're looking at grihasthas. I think शादी कर लेना अच्छा था. अरे ऐसे बेकार में सन्यास ले लिया. अभी सोच समझ के लेना था. लोग बोल रहे थे, बेकार में सोच समझ के नहीं लिया. अब देखो कैसे हो गया. What is miserable? Actually, this world is designed in such a way कि इस वर्ल्ड में ही रह के हम आनंद में रह सकते हैं. इसी वर्ल्ड को भगवान का ये धाम, भगवान का धाम बना सकते हैं. मटेरियल वर्ल्ड, स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है, बस चेतना की डिफरेंस है. क्योंकि भगवान से कुछ अगर निकला है तो वो तो पूर्ण है. आप सब एक श्लोक जानते हैं, ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. मतलब if this verse says that Krishna is perfect, God is perfect, and anything that is coming out, any creation that is coming out from God, it is also perfect. Krishna is Anandamaya, he is bliss, and the world that has come out in this world also can give us all bliss. This world can also give us bliss, but this world is giving us misery. Why? It's not Krishna's fault. Krishna has created this world for bliss. Just like you see, in the summer season, you will get fruits like watermelon, muskmelon, and a lot of fruits which are juicy, watery, which you can eat and you can be so happy, correct? And in winter season, winter is there, you eat vitamin C fruits you will get, all citrus fruits you will get, like mosami, oranges, you eat, then you will not fall sick. Now why we are falling sick? We want to eat the winter fruits in the summer and the summer fruits in the winter. By doing genetic modification, obviously you will fall sick. Krishna has created that you take mangoes only in the summer, and then I want Alfonso mango throughout the year. And then you do genetic modification of the mango tree. And you do genetic modification of the mango tree, and throughout the year mangoes come, and you eat the mangoes and become miserable, get cancer. There is a video all of you should see, it's there in YouTube. The video is like this, poison on platter. All of you should see the video. It's a Mahesh Bhatt, Pooja Bhatt created small 30 minutes video. It's both in Hindi and English. So based on your language, you can see this. It says how through genetic modification, we have created misery for ourselves. Right now, there is 300% rise in cancer patients because we are eating simply poison, not food. And who has created the poison? Krishna. We only. Huh? Imagine you purchase a petrol car and in petrol car you put a diesel, and because of putting diesel, the petrol car gets screwed up, and then you go to Maruti and say, अरे क्या गाड़ी दे दिया, इतना दुख देता है, खाली धुआं छोड़ता है, चलता ही नहीं. अरे तुमने मुंह में क्यों डाला उसका डीजल? So we are screwing up this world. This world is a perfect place. This world can be spiritual world. If we follow God's laws, if we follow and love everyone, serve everyone, and not try to control anyone. So the spiritual world or Vaikuntha is actually a Vaikuntha Chetana or consciousness. And what is the consciousness? That I want to serve, not exploit. I want to love, not control. I want to give and not get. So this is 1, 2, and 3. So when we have this Chetana, where we want to serve, not exploit others, where we want to serve the husband, serve the wife, serve the children, serve everyone in this world, where we want to love, not control others, where we want to give, not just I will grab. Then this world will also become spiritual world. All of us live like this. And we saw, I see, forget about spiritual world, even we have created a spiritual family called Dasosmi family. Everyone wants to serve, and whenever there is gathering, everyone wants to serve, and then the atmosphere becomes so nice. I will give you a simple example. So last time when we had gone to Yatra to Vrindavan, we are almost 150 of us gone to Yatra in Vrindavan, and we were staying in one hotel. We had booked almost about 55-56 rooms in that hotel. So then all devotees had a flight and train from Delhi in the evening. So they left in the afternoon itself. I had a flight the next day. So I stayed back in the hotel, and the entire hotel got vacant because they had no bookings for that day, and I was alone, and some other 1 or 2 devotees were there. So then the employees of the hotel, the house staff, the people who clean, the people who were cooking for us, they started putting in the evening lot of loud bhajan. Then I was doing Gayatri, I got disturbed and I went down. Arey, kyun itna jor se chilla rahe ho? So then all the staff came and said, we are feeling alone. Last 4 days, it was such a blissful experience staying with all of your disciples. They said disciples because they are not knowing this thing. आप सबके लोगों के साथ इतना आनंद आ रहा था, इतना आनंद आ रहा था, इतना प्रेम था, सब कोई सबका सेवा करना चाहता है, हर कोई आनंद में था, इतना मजा आ रहा था. अब सब चले गए तो पूरा सुना सुना लग रहा है, इसलिए हमने जोर से म्यूजिक लगा दिया, थोड़ा बहुत दुख लग रहा है. So understand one thing, even in this world, if we live in keeping Krishna in the center and want to serve others and live in this Chetana, even in this world we will experience happiness. My father and mother, they lived a very, very happy married life. And really, really happy married life. So my father, when he had gone to our yatra, one of our ISKCON's yatra, he saw the couples, our couples, and he said, if we would have become devotees, we would have lived more happier life, because they are living much happier life than us. My father lived a very happy married life. He saw the devotees couples and they said they are living much more happier life than us. So in this way, we should understand Adhyatmik Jagat, the spiritual world, is a Chetana. It's there in our head. If we change our Chetana, world will also change. Right? So next class, we will discuss more about spiritual world. We will take some verses from Bhagavad Gita. Because we have been discussing so much about material world, we should also discuss something about spiritual world. How the spiritual world is, how it is our home, and why the living entity comes. So all these things we'll discuss. Anyone has any question? So this, all the notes I will send you, all of you, as a PDF. Okay? Yeah.
Prabhuji, you told us in last class that you will explain why such desires
yeah, so actually today less time was there, and already I lost a lot of time. That will take some more time. So then I thought that I will do a little bit of revision and next class, because we had also missed 2 classes in between. So I thought that थोड़ा revision करके next week वो discuss करेंगे, because वो चालू करेंगे तो 1.5 घंटा लग जाएगा, time भी कम था. Okay? Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
हाँ बोलो.
Yes, I have 2 questions. One is, ये सारा जो हम डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं, अगर इसकी नौबत ही नहीं आती अगर भगवान ने इस सब हमें बनाया ही नहीं होता. और इसी का ना क्वेश्चन का दूसरा पार्ट है कि अगर भगवान सर्वशक्तिमान है, तो ये जितनी मिजरीज है, जो भी हमारा दिमाग, सोच, ये सब कुछ तो वो क्षण भर में बदल सकते हैं. तो क्यों नहीं बदल करके हम सबको वापस बुला लेते हैं कि सब कुछ ये पूरा खेल ही खत्म है.
Yeah.
I might sound a little stupid, पर अक्सर ये दिमाग में आता है, तो पूछता हूँ आपसे.
Subham, so your wife name is Shreya. So imagine we change Shreya to a robot Shreya. Because Shreya is troubling you, Shreya is making you a lot of demands. We make a robot version of Shreya, and Shreya को हम मायके भेज देंगे, and robot version Shreya हम दे देंगे आपको, and robot version of Shreya कुछ भी complain नहीं करेगा, no complain, no demand, and जो भी आप बोलेंगे all desires आपका पूरा fulfill कर देगा. जो भी खाना बनाएंगे सब fulfill हो जाएगा, सब कुछ हो जाएगा. तो आपको मजा आएगा?
नहीं, क्योंकि वो ह्यूमन टच नहीं होगा ना उसमें.
तो ह्यूमन टच कहाँ से आ रहा है? जीवात्मा से ना. क्यों वो ह्यूमन टच आ रहा है? बिकॉज देयर इज फ्रीडम. श्रेया हैज फ्रीडम एंड रोबोट हैज नो फ्री विल. करेक्ट?
करेक्ट.
सो गॉड अगर हमको रोबोट बना देंगे और हमारा फ्री विल छीन लेंगे तो प्रेम ही नहीं रहेगा. प्रेम मतलब देयर इज फ्रीडम. If there is no freedom, then where is love? Tell me. Krishna doesn't want to program us to love him. Krishna has given us freedom. If you want to love, you love. You want to stay in this world, you stay. Wherever you stay, I will provide you facilities. But from using our free will, if you want to love Krishna, then there is love. And that's how Krishna doesn't control us. He doesn't control our free will. He has given us free will. You're able to understand, otherwise we'll become Jiva robots.
Understood.
Just like you don't want your wife to be like a robot. So, prem nahi aayega. So exactly, Krishna also doesn't want Jiva robots.
Yes, got it.
Otherwise, people would adapt, will get robots. Why they are having children? They know that children will trouble them. But that trouble में भी आनंद है ना?
Right.
Like that. भगवान का भी जीवात्मा थोड़ा परेशान करते हैं, बट भगवान परेशान नहीं होते हैं. ठीक है, मेरा ही बेटा है, थोड़ा परेशान करता है.
And now the second part of the question is, अभी भी आपने कहा that spiritual world is a consciousness. So क्या कोई spiritual world जैसे गोलोक या अयोध्या धाम ये वास्तविकता है या this is a consciousness, a state of mind?
That there is a place also, and there is a consciousness also. So you can access that place through your consciousness. There is a place, definitely there is a place where God stays, and that place is there. But that place can be accessed only when you raise your consciousness to that place. Like for example, there is a place, America, but only when you get a visa confirmed, then you can enter America. So then there will be interviews, there is a qualification. So exactly in the same way, spiritual world is a place, but it requires certain qualification, and that Chetana, uplifting the Chetana is the qualification to reach to the place. Okay?
Understood. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Yeah.
So probably what should be the goal of life? We just said the goal of life is to go to Vaikuntha.
Yeah. So that we will discuss next class. The goal of life is to go to Vaikuntha. Yes. What is your question? No.
Or the goal should be to love Krishna, either in Vaikuntha or somewhere else.
Yeah, so our goal is to love Krishna, but love Krishna in spiritual world, because that's the place where you can love Krishna the best. You can really express your love to Krishna, and you can stay eternally with Krishna. Now, how to achieve that is the process of bhakti. So the process of bhakti is actually to help us how to get love for God and reach to spiritual world. Right now we do not feel love for Krishna. Yes, we feel love for our wife, children, smartphone, iPhone. We have so much of love for so many people, but we do not have love for Krishna. We have forgotten our love. So we reawaken our love and go to spiritual world. That's the goal of life. हम इधर आए हैं, बद्ध अवस्था में गिर गए हैं. We have become bound by the modes of this world. We have to reach back to the spiritual world. Okay?
Prabhuji, one question.
Yes.
अच्छा ये just want to know हमारा जो soul है created with मतलब बहुत कैसे created हो चुका होगा मतलब from life right from the Treta युग सतयुग then Dwapar युग फिर हम लोग अभी भी मतलब वो जन्म लेते रहे मतलब एक तरह से हम लोग क्या एक तरह से फेलियर होते रहे हम जन्म कविता के जन्म लेते आ रहे हैं
Yeah. So we have seen so many Satyug, so many Kalyug, so many Treta युग. अब आके फाइनली इस पहुंचे हैं कि आए हैं. अभी बहुत कृपा के कारण हमको अभी सही रास्ता मिल रहा है, तो इसको अगर खो देंगे फिर से चालू हो जाएगा. अभी श्री निताई दास आपको ये चीज बोल रहे हैं, फिर भगवान कोई और किसी को भेजेंगे सेम चीज बोलने के लिए. अभी आप चुन लीजिए, अभी इस जीवन में सीरियस बन के भगवान के पास चला जाना, नहीं तो फिर XYZ दास आ जाएगा नेक्स्ट लाइफ. या फिर क्या पता प्रीवियस लाइफ में भी कितने सारे दास आए. समझ में आ रहा है ना, कितने सारे दास आए, कितने सारे दासी आए होंगे, गए होंगे, बोल के यही चीज. देखो मीराबाई आके गई होगी, मीराबाई के समय भी हम जिंदा रहे होंगे ना. क्या बोल के गई मीराबाई? भक्ति करो, भक्ति करो. मीराबाई तो गाना लिखी है, आप वो गाना पढ़ेंगे ना. मीराबाई हैज रिटन सॉन्ग ऑन लॉर्ड चैतन्य महाप्रभु. व्हाट मीराबाई हैज रिटन? अब तो कर लो, हरि नाम ले लो, मूर्ख जीवात्मा, अब तो हरि नाम लेके भगवान के पास चले जाओ. तुमको भगवान के पास लेके जाने के लिए खुद भगवान आके सेविंग करके सन्यास ले लिया, फिर भी तुम पड़ा हुआ है. ऐसे मीराबाई चैतन्य महाप्रभु के बारे में लिखा है. तो मतलब हम जब मीराबाई थे 1500 में, उस समय भी हम थे, किसी और अवस्था में थे, कोई और पशु योनि में रहेंगे या मनुष्य में रहेंगे, कुछ रहेंगे, नहीं जा पाए। चैतन्य महाप्रभु आए, नहीं जा पाए। तो भगवान हमारे जीवन में किसी भी अवस्था में लोगों को भेजते रहेंगे। अब हमारे ऊपर निर्भर करता है कब हम सीरियस बनेंगे। जितना जल्दी बन जाएंगे तो उतना अच्छा है।
तो क्या सीरियस हो सकते हैं अभी, जैसे जो लाइफ चल रहा है अभी हमारा जो कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ है, या जैसे इसमें सीरियसनेस हो सकता है?
या अरे कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ में कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, खाने के लिए, जीने के लिए। अर्जुन भी तो कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ ही जीते थे। अर्जुन वाज आल्सो ए वॉरियर and he was having more dangerous and difficult corporate life than you. If he can go, why can't you? Right? खट्वांग इति राज ऋषि। परीक्षित महाराज भी यही प्रश्न आप जो पूछ रहे हैं भागवत में करते हैं सुखदेव गोस्वामी को, अरे मेरे पास तो कम समय बचा हुआ है और मैं तो राजा होके रहा हूं, मैं तो बिल्कुल कुछ किया नहीं हूं, कुछ होगा? सुखदेव गोस्वामी से खट्वांग इति राज ऋषि, खट्वांग राज ऋषि कुछ समय के लिए भक्ति करके चले गए तो सबके लिए पॉसिबल है। तो सीरियस होना सबके लिए पॉसिबल है। एंड ऐसा नहीं कि सीरियस होना का मतलब है हस्बैंड को छोड़ देना, वाइफ को छोड़ देना, बाबा जी बन जाना, गेरुआ वस्त्र परिधान कर देना तो सीरियस हो गया। वो सब नहीं है, वो सब एक्सटर्नल है। ये पूरा एक्सटर्नल है, समझ में आ रहा है ना? ये पूरा एक्सटर्नल है। व्हाट इज सीरियसनेस? सब माथे के अंदर क्या हो रहा है आपका। कोई गेरुआ वस्त्र पहन रहा है, some he may be wearing saffron but thinking about something else, and कोई साधु सुधा है and he is really thinking I'll let me devote my life to Krishna, let everything is of Krishna, and he is chanting Hare Krishna, and then he will go back to God. So don't think that it is not possible in corporate life. We have so many devotees in ISKCON who are living in corporate life, chanting Hare Krishna, devoting their life, and they're successfully going back to Godhead. Okay, so why can't you? If you follow, it will be possible. Don't have different conceptions. Oh, जब प्रभु जी की तरह रहेंगे तब जाके जाएंगे, ऐसे नहीं है। अरे प्रभु जी रह जाएंगे आप सब जा सकते हैं, ऐसे भी हो सकता है। It's not about प्रभु जी, और it's not about saffron, it's not about मंदिर में रहने से ही आप चले जाएंगे। आप अपने घर को मंदिर बना सकते हैं, पर मंदिर का वातावरण आपको घर में बनाना पड़ेगा। Like sometimes I go to some devotee's house. The house is so spiritual. The vibrations of the house are so spiritual. Why? Because they are their husband and wife together. They have made a plan that we will make our home as a temple and live in a temple. And then they are much better than the sannyasis. The sannyasis are sometimes forced to stay in temple, but they have chosen to make their home temple. Nice, ना? मेरे पास तो कुछ ऑप्शन ही नहीं है, मंदिर में ही रहना है, क्या ही कर सकता हूं, अभी घर द्वार नहीं है तो। बट आप सबके पास ऑप्शन है, घर को मंदिर की तरह रख सकते हैं या फिर घर को दूसरी की तरह रख सकते हैं। पर आप अगर अपने चॉइस से घर को मंदिर बनाएंगे, सो देन कृष्णा विल बी मोर प्लीज्ड। ऐसा नहीं है कि आप नहीं जा सकते हैं, आपको सीरियस बनना पड़ेगा। गृहस्थ आश्रम में अलग प्रिंसिपल्स है जिसको फॉलो करना है, ब्रह्मचारी या सन्यासी को अलग प्रिंसिपल फॉलो करना है, बट दोनों जा सकते हैं। रादर गृहस्थों के पास ज्यादा वो है, क्योंकि वो ब्रह्मचारी सन्यासी का एक बहुत बड़ा डर है। देयर इज वन वेरी वेरी बिगेस्ट ऑब्स्टेकल ऑफ द सन्यासीज is this, which I have written: pride. So the grihasthas have little they because of their situation na, they will never become proud. अरे हम तो सांसारिक लोग हैं। You'll see, you'll meet any grihastha, they'll say, प्रभु जी हम तो सांसारिक लोग हैं। That is good, they are humble. Sannyasis, their greatest obstacle is pride. So if a sannyasi has to remain aloof from pride, which is more difficult, इतने सारे लोग आके आपको दंडवत करेंगे और आपको सोचना है कि मेरे को दंडवत नहीं कर रहे हैं, बस भगवान को दंडवत कर रहे हैं। ये डिफिकल्ट है ना। और कोई आपको दंडवत नहीं कर रहा है, आप पूरा संसार में भरे हुए हैं और नम्र बन के भगवान को प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं, भगवान उठा लो, और नहीं हो रहा है ये दुनिया, तो आपको पहले उठाएंगे भगवान, क्योंकि भगवान अहंकार को सहन नहीं करते हैं। सब कुछ सहन करेंगे, अहंकार सहन नहीं करेंगे। तो इसलिए सन्यासी समटाइम्स हैव मोर डिफिकल्ट टाइम्स बिकॉज ऑफ प्राइड। Rather, grihasthas have better opportunities. They are, because of their situations, they are naturally humble. And sannyasis, because of their situation, they have naturally, they can become proud. Okay? So every ashrama, every situation has pros and cons. ये जो जगत है, ये द्वंद्व जगत है, dual. It's a duality. So corporate life has some pros and some cons also. Similarly, sannyasi life has pros and it has some cons. तो सब रहेगा mixed. It's a mixed. आप डिसाइड कीजिए, आप एडवांटेज लीजिए उसका और भगवान धाम चले जाइए. Right? Yes. Okay. Anyone else? I think we'll end.
Prabhuji, I have one slightly different question. So I have come across when I was looking on the internet about a word called Kundalini awakening.
Yeah, Kundalini awakening. Yeah.
I'm completely new about this particular concept, so I don't know. First query is what it is, and whoever on the path of spirituality, does it awaken for all of them? That is the second query. So if you can share some pointer what exactly this is.
It will take some time. So if those who want to stay can stay back, or those who want to leave, they can leave, because it will take some time. It will take minimum 10 minutes. Okay. ठीक है. So this is our body. This is mind. This is mind and body. They interact with each other, called through prana. Right? Prana is basically the air channels which help the mind control the body. Because mind is subtle, it is very subtle, and body is gross. So mind and body का जो relationship है वो है प्राण. And 5 प्रकार के प्राण हैं, आपको पता होगा. You know, there is called prana, apana, samana, vyana, udana. So these are the 5 pranas, and these 5 pranas, mind इन 5 प्राणों का हेल्प लेके हमारी शरीर को देखभाल करता है या कंट्रोल करता है. जैसे प्राण कंट्रोल्स आवर ब्रीदिंग, and apan controls our excretion, samana controls digestion, vyana controls blood pressure, udana controls our speech and upward movement. Okay. So these are all pranas. And then there is something called nadi. So these 5 pranas have juncture. These are like wiring system, you can say, wiring between the mind and the body. Okay. So wares होता है ना, wares. You are understanding, you know where, wearing. So all our body, there is pranic wearing throughout our body. And these wearings also have junctions which are called nodes, all called the different junction points. Okay. So these are called nadis, these wares are called nadis. We say na prana nadi. आप नाड़ी चेक करते हैं आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर, नाड़ी, तो वो क्या चेक करता है? ये जो वेयरिंग है चेक करता है, इधर वेयरिंग है, चारों ओर पूरा शरीर में आपका नाड़ी है. एंड जो वेयरिंग एक एक जगह वो जंक्शन होता है, एंड दोज जंक्शन, द नोडल पॉइंट्स आर कॉल्ड द प्राणिक नोडल पॉइंट्स. तो आपकी नाभि के पास एक सोलर प्लेक्सस नोडल पॉइंट है, उसके नीचे मूलाधार चक्र है. सो दे आर कॉल्ड चक्रास. यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज चक्रा, व्हाट इज प्राण, व्हाट इज नाड़ी. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, माइंड में आप डिस्टर्ब हो जाते हैं, कोई स्ट्रेस में आ जाता है, उसका डाइजेशन खराब हो जाता है. क्यों डाइजेशन खराब हो जाता है? तो उसकी समान वायु डिस्टर्ब हो गया, समान प्राण डिस्टर्ब हो गया. वो तो माइंड में डिस्टर्ब हुआ है, स्ट्रेस हुआ है, पर उसका प्राण इफेक्ट होता है, एंड प्राण फिर बॉडी को इफेक्ट करता है. समझ में आ रहा है? आप मन में कभी कभी लोग डर जाते हैं, जब डर जाते हैं सुसु कर लेते हैं. देखा है? नंबर 1 कर लेते. कैसे? जब डर जाता है उसका अपान प्राण इतना डिस्टर्ब हो गया कि सुसु हो गया. सो these pranic wearings are all throughout the body, which helps the mind and body to function effectively. And when they come to a junction, different junctions, they are called chakras. So there are 7 chakras, starting from Mooladhara chakra and then the Brahmanada. There are different chakras and different points. You will get that in in Google if you search chakras. These are basically the chakras, and there are so many chakras, but the primary, there are I think 112 chakras, but the primary are the Sat chakras. 6 chakras जो बताया गया है, they are primary. They are the major junction. Like for example, there is a big junction, Howrah junction, and there is also a small junction called Khordha junction in Odisha. Khordha is also a junction, railway junction, but not so famous. But Howrah junction is very famous because there are 25 platforms, so many trains are coming. Correct? So जो आप चक्र के बारे में मेंशन किया गया है और आप गूगल में आपको मिलेगा, तो these chakras are basically the primary chakras, which are the predominant chakras or the major junctions of our pranic junctions of our body. Now, what is Kundalini yoga? So Kundalini yoga, they say that आप अपनी चक्र को ऊपर उठाइए, और basically what is that? Our consciousness is, it takes charge of these chakras. Like for example, I'll give an example. It is graphic, but it is what it is. Like for example, you will see the animals. Wherever they will go, they will sniff the other person. They will sniff the anus of the other. I see cows. How they will sniff the anus. They will sniff and they will try to unite and mate. So their entire consciousness, because their consciousness is too much into the reproductive system, how to mate and everything, their entire soul or the consciousness is in the Mooladhara chakra only. So animal by nature is in Mooladhara chakra, and if a human being is too much absorbed in all these things, all these pursuits about how to mate, how to get sexually agitated, then the consciousness, the Atma, the Chetana goes to the Mooladhara chakra only. Now what is Yoga Paddhati? Because if you are so much in the Mooladhara chakra, in the lower chakras, you cannot understand only spirituality. You cannot understand about God. So what they do, they try to, through yogic process, which is a mechanical process, they try to rise the consciousness to the higher chakras. That is basically Kundalini Jagrit, and then you will be able to understand the higher aspects of the spirituality, right? So Kundalini is basically a mechanical process to raise your consciousness from the lower chakra to the higher chakras. Okay. Now the question is, what you will do after that? That is, no one tells. Like the Patanjali yoga, okay, they say that okay, आप अपना अष्टांग योगा करके आपका चक्र वक्र ऊपर कर सकते हैं, कुंडलिनी जागृत कर सकते हैं, वो सब करते हैं, उसके बाद क्या? So in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the last thing is called the final thing that is mentioned by Patanjali is Iswara Pranidhan. मतलब भगवान की शरणागति. तो आप सब ये जागृत करके फाइनल गोल क्या है? भगवान की सेवा करना. समझ में आ रहा है ना? फाइनल गोल जीवात्मा का क्या है? सेवा करना. बट अगर मैं मूलधार चक्र में रहूंगा, मन पशु की तरह रहूंगा, केवल देखते रहूंगा किसके साथ मैं मैथुन कर सकता हूं, किसके साथ वो कर सकता हूं, तो इसलिए मेरे को चक्र को ऊपर उठाऊंगा तो क्या कर सकता हूं? भगवान की सेवा कर सकता हूं. If I remain in the lower consciousness, if my consciousness in the lower chakras, I cannot think about spirituality. समझ में आ रहा है आपको? What is Kundalini Jagrit? मतलब basically you are rising your consciousness from Mooladhara chakra up to the Brahmarandhra. Now this is a completely mechanical process which in Satyuga people used to do and they were trained in that. Like Dhruva Maharaj ये सब करते थे. But finally at the end आपको क्या करना है? भगवान के प्रति प्रेम जागृत करना है. And that at the end you have to do, भगवान का नाम लेना है, जो भगवद गीता में भगवान बोल रहे हैं. क्या करना है? मन मनाभ, मेरा मन, आपका मन मेरे को दो, मेरा कीर्तन करो, मेरा नाम जप करो, ये सब भगवान बोलते हैं. मेरा लीला सुनो. तो नाउ द एंड रिजल्ट इज व्हाट? भगवान को प्रति प्रेम जागृत करना है. नाउ दिस इज ए इंटरमीडिएट स्टेज. कुंडलिनी और पतंजलि योग सूत्र, दिस इज द इंटरमीडिएट स्टेज. And even that intermediate stage also in Kali Yuga, it is very, very difficult. And that is how in Kali Yuga, these processes are not required. In Kali Yuga, only you do the final stage, that is mantra ucharan. And by mantra ucharan, it is an easier process to rise your consciousness directly. So this Kundalini is a staircase process. And mantra chanting is like a lift or elevator. Like in imagine Nitin's flat is, I think you stay in ground floor, right? Second floor. So there is two ways. Either you can go through staircase or you can go through a lift, correct?
Yes.
So but the end result is not to stay in the foyer or the lobby. The end result is what? To go to your home ना. आप क्यों स्टेयरकेस या लिफ्ट यूज कर रहे हैं? द गोल क्या है? घर में प्रवेश करने के लिए. सो नाउ कुंडलिनी एंड पतंजलि दे यूज द स्टेयरकेस प्रोसेस. खुद से आप अपनी चक्र को ऊपर उठाइए एंड फिर भगवान ईश्वर प्रणिधान कीजिए, भगवान में आपका चेतना को लगाइए. And that is very difficult in Kali Yuga, because in Kali Yuga our minds are so disturbed. It's very, very difficult. So easiest method Kali Yuga mein recommended process is just chant Hare Krishna, just chant the mantras, Kalau Tad Hari Kirtanam, and automatically your chetana, your consciousness will get lifted. So it is like an elevator, taking help of Krishna. Okay. So this Kundalini and Patanjali and all those things, they were done in the Satyuga as an intermediate process before Iswar Pranidhan.
So Prabhuji, actually in internet they say that it automatically, one is through yoga and it automatically also get activated. Is that so?
No. Automatically kuch nahi. Automatically what will get activated is you will go down to Mooladhara chakra. That's what automate. Or even if to stay like this, stay in one chakra or one consciousness level, then also you need some practice. The natural इमेजिन आई लीव दिस, क्या होगा? ऑटोमेटिकली वो इधर ही रहेगा, गिर जाएगा. So that is what is the principle, the primary principle of the world. This world is gravity. It pulls you down. So consciousness will be pulled down. If you don't practice to live like a human, you will become an animal. And what is meaning of animal? Animal का बस 4 चीज पता है. खाना कहाँ मिलेगा, सोना कैसे मैं रहूंगा, मैथुन कैसे करूंगा, और मेरे को ये खाना पीना सोने मैथुन में कोई परेशान किया तो उसको फाइट करूंगा, बस. सो प्राइमरीली अगर आप कुछ नहीं करेंगे तो आप मूलधार चक्र में चले जाएंगे. नीचे वाला जितना चक्र है चले जाएंगे. नाभि के नीचे जो चक्रस है वो लोअर चक्रस बोलते हैं. नाभि के ऊपर नाभि के पास अगर आपका चक्र है और चेतना है, एटलीस्ट यू आर ह्यूमन बीइंग. एंड देवता लोग, देयर कॉन्शियसनेस इज हायर. सो ऑटोमेटिकली नहीं होगा. And one way is to do yoga and all those things, which is very difficult. And in Satyuga it is impossible. In Kaliyuga it is impossible. In Kaliyuga ये सब जो बोल रहे हैं, ये योगा वो योगा कुंडलिनी जागृत, ये होता ही नहीं है, होगा ही नहीं. वो खाली they are all trying to fake. They are not accepting the reality and trying to make a business out of it. The procedure, what they are saying is not wrong. They are telling all correct thing only. Only thing is that time is wrong. Time is wrong. कलयुग में वो होगा ही नहीं. So कलयुग में वो क्या हो पाएगा? वो है this मंत्र उच्चारण, कलो तद हरि कीर्तनम. By kirtan, by bhajans, so you can lift your consciousness higher, and that is possible. Okay? तो ये ऑटोमेटिकली नहीं होता है पर. ओके. हरे कृष्णा. जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय. हरे कृष्णा. हरि बोल.